Tiffany, you know that I work for the children of the incarcerated parent. That's one of my main things. And I am madder than a hornet because you were visiting your husband for how long?
A little over 2 years.
With your children, right?
Yes.
Right. And then you
3 times a month.
Huh?
3 times a month.
3 times
Every visit we were allowed to be there, we were there when he was in Marion, North Central.
All right. And then you filed a grievance because it was far to drive, correct?
Yes. Well, we filed a hardship for him to be transferred to Chillicothe because it was closer to me. Because we were tired of driving 4.5 hours round trip to see him that many times a month.
Right.
So they transferred him.
So they did what you asked, which was a good thing, and they transferred him. And now all of a sudden, you're not allowed to go?
Since he's been there for the past year, we have not seen him one time. They took me off of his visiting list, and the reason they said was because I was his codependent, which is not true. I am not his codependent, and I have sent the paperwork that they've asked me to send over and over and over. His unit manager and case manager basically flat out told him that they're not going to deal with it, that no, I'm not allowed back on because it says I'm his codependent, which I'm not. I've called the warden, got no response back. I've been to the adult parole authority. Nobody wants to help me. But I have no understanding how you can allow us to visit this man for over 2 years, file the hardship, allow it to happen because of me, and then strip myself and my children away from him when he's an ideal inmate doing Oasis and everything.
And he's doing Oasis?
Yeah, makes no sense to me. He just got transferred to an in-house behavior modification program, and he's doing the classes and everything he's supposed to be doing. You know, he's not a bad inmate or anything. So that can't be the reason why they would strip visits.
That is insanity. My partner, I had to come over to James's house because I'm so mad. He's calling Robin Knob, who's she?
Regional Director for Chillicothe.
Regional Director for Chillicothe, all right?
Uh-huh.
And we are mad. We stand up for these children. Here is James calling right now. And I've also spoken to Norman, like I told you. He's the Deputy Director of Prisons.
Yes.
And there were 3 guards hurt in some kind of altercation in Ross Prison today. So he has written me back.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. He's written me back, but he hasn't. He wanted to know everything, and I told him exactly what you told me. So, and also, the kids are having behavioral issues, aren't they?
Yeah, the oldest one, and then the oldest one it's so severe that it's affecting the youngest ones.
So
yeah, it's really bad. The kids even have to be separated due to it and everything. So all 3 of the kids, all 3 of them are living in separate places right now.
Well, I'm madder than a hornet. This is out of order, and we are going to take care of this as soon as possible. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm glad you reached out to me.
Gentleman that was transferred to
James is talking.
Huh? When the kids were able to see him, they were getting good grades in school. They were, they were doing good. They knew that every weekend they were going to go visit their dad. They loved sending him letters and cards and mail, and they loved getting stuff from him. And they knew what to expect when they got to the prison. They knew the whole, routine of it all. And, I mean, it was to the point where, they'd go in themselves with a little vending cart or whatever and be like, oh, Daddy, they already knew what Daddy wanted to eat, everything, they had it down pat. Then all of a sudden their visits get stripped, and not only has their behavior changed, their grades have changed, their attitude has changed. They won't even get on the phone with him anymore. They won't send him cards or letters anymore. And it's just like the whole family is falling apart because they've lost visits with their dad. It kind of goes with that out of sight, out of mind thing.
Yeah.
So Daddy's out of sight, so it's out of their mind. And so they're having a really hard time dealing with this because they're young and have no understanding at all how in the world they get to see their father so much and now they don't. And he still has, almost 2 years left. So that if he finishes out his 2 years on top of the year it's already been, that means the last 3 years of his sentence, he doesn't get to see his kids.
And it's been a year already?
Inside of there. It's been a year already, yeah.
And you guys were like celebrating.
For a year.
You were celebrating when they changed, when they accepted your grievance so you could be closer to him, right?
Yeah, and we went to go see him. He called me and told me that he was moved, and we called up there to make a visit for that following weekend or whatever, and they told me that I wasn't allowed, and I was livid.
Can I call that prosecutor and get paperwork proving that you're not his co-defendant, or that was dropped, or whatever the heck they think is going on?
Yeah, they charged me with being his co-defendant, and when I went to court, it was dismissed because I was in prison when my husband caught his case, and I was released and went to the Alvis house, and after the Alvis house, I was on probation. And how can I be a co-defendant to somebody when I'm sitting in prison myself? How could I possibly have helped him do anything when the system already had me? So they dismissed it, realizing that I had nothing to do with it. Therefore, I was not his co-defendant. And Marion, North Central, obviously seen that I was not his co-defendant. That's why
she was in freaking prison, James, when they tried to tell her she was her husband's co-defendant. So she was in prison when that happened, so they dropped it.
That's why they're not.
Okay, well, we're going to figure it out for you, and I love you. Will you be there later?
Yeah.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
I know you are. I've been having major...
Yeah,
huh?
Well, and my husband, he's so upset right now. I think he thinks he's to the point where he thinks that I'm not doing anything about it anymore. And, he used to call like 4 or 5 times a day because I even changed my cell phone number to a Chillicothe number so it would be $1 for him to call me instead of $5 and everything. And so he would call 4 or 5 times a day. Well, then it went down to once or twice a day. Well, now he hasn't called in 3 days because he's so fed up, and I think he thinks that I've just given up and that I'm not trying to get myself or these kids in there. And he had sent me a JPay that said, well, maybe I'm just not a part of your life out there anymore. Well, that's not the case. And I hate that he feels that way because I have done everything I possibly can to get myself and these children back in there. But they keep telling me the same thing over and over and over again. And it's not right. So now my children are upset, I'm upset, and now my husband feels like he doesn't even want to call anymore because he feels like we've just given up on him. And that's not the case at all. What
about the online JPay visits? That's not the same thing as seeing him in person. I know that.
And we've done that. But you have to be on somebody's visiting list to do a JPay visit. And since I'm not on his visiting list, we have been doing it under somebody else's name.
Yeah.
For the kids to see their dad for that half-an-hour JPay visit or whatever.
Yeah.
And we do that. So he's seen them over the computer, but Amy, you know as well as I do, we've both been in prison. It's not the same as actually getting a visit and touching somebody and seeing somebody in the real versus over a computer. He needs that. The kids need that. We can't just keep using somebody else's name and doing JPay visits. They need to see each other.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
And it's totally wrong. There's probably people out there getting visits that probably don't even deserve visits, and then there's people like us who, just got them stripped for no reason.
And you were visiting them. How long were you visiting him before you had the grievance?
2.5 years.
And how long was the drive?
He got a 6-year sentence. That's what he got. And he's eligible for his 80/20 in December of next year.
Okay.
So we visited him for like 2.5 years, and it's been a year since we've seen him, since he's had his transfer to Chillicothe.
Well, I'm going to send this video also to the Deputy Director of Prisons. I'm going to turn this off now and finish talking to you. But, if we need to, I'll send it, okay? I can edit out certain parts. Hold on. Out of order. Okay, hold on. I can't turn this stupid thing off.